Hello, everybody. Welcome. It's been a quick minute, hasn't it? Oh, man. I just got deja vu doing this. How crazy is that? And I'm going to sneeze. Go figure, right? Get on here and I'm going to sneeze. So, sneezing, doing that. And I mentioned David. Oh, whew. That's a positive. That's a positive. That's a positive. Didn't sneeze. So, how's everybody doing out there in YouTube land and Facebook land and cyberland and whatever land you're from? How are you all doing? And welcome. For those who are joining me for the first time and watching the replay, my name is Mary Jane Tracy. I'm a psychic medium and a spiritual love of life coach and an astrologer. And I'm going to be changing that intro. I think I'm going to be changing that intro. I think it's about time to change the intro. So welcome everybody. Few things. Life is changing. Life is getting ramped up for for change. I mean, a few things right now, and I'm going to make this kind of a little bit of a full disclosure of things. Things are we have, okay, first of all, we got the first quarter square, so that means that the moon is in Virgo, and it's squaring off, or however you want to do it, squaring off to the sun. And it's very much about let's get things done. Getting things done. Virgo is very much a do. Let's get things done. Let's get things organized, which is great for me. Mars, there's a buildup of Mars towards Chiron. So there's really a big buildup with that Mars energy towards Chiron. And also with Venus and Uranus. So two really weird kind of planets, Chiron and Uranus. Weird because one, Chiron is a wounded healer, right? He's he is the warrior who died, but he didn't die. He's become immortal. He's a warrior who's had to endure his pain and all that has happened in his life, and to help him to overcome it and to overcome. We also have Uranus is also he is the god of change. He is the god, he is the ruler of the sky. What Uranus is. He rules, and he is the god of gods. When we look, that's his persona. And he's the one who wants to actively make change happen. He's the one who wants to push forward and to create things that are new in a way that brings forth renewal, creativity, new ways of connecting, new ways of understanding, and to step beyond the control, step beyond that of what is being controlled, or who are your controllers. Now, this is where we go in, and Chiron, and both Chiron and Uranus is the inner pain. And this is where we, that road, or too much, what is that road that we've been on, that we've accepted too much. And I think that we're seeing that in our life right now. We're seeing that in the world right now. Gas prices all went up, if you didn't notice. And I mean, that's really getting people to really think about things, to really re-evaluate. What are you doing? What are you spending your money on? What is that of importance to you in your muggle world, right? And how to not overstress. You know, um, and how to deal with the crazy situations that are arising. And they're arising radically. These newness and that are popping up, and change is unfolding. And as this is happening, what I have noticed is many are still very much, and I got an ostrich, not that ostriches actually put their head in the sand or in the dirt to not see what's going on, but it's because if anybody, first of all, if anybody's been around ostriches, um, they're not, they're kind of mean. They can be kind of mean, and they're very fierce, and they're very big. And if they want to kick you, oh my God, they can kick you, and they can run fast. So, but the symbology of being an ostrich with a head in the sand, and even though people are planning, they're doing, they're really wanting to normalize, like it is that ideology of we want to be normal, we want to have, it's that 1950s ideology that is very much the persona of our world, having the mom and the dad. And then that changed with the 60s, right? It wasn't mom and dad, just the mom and the dad. Women were starting to work outside the home. Women were starting to expand and do other things than just be the mother. And then the 70s, that's when Chiron was found in 77. Wasn't found yet. I know the first time, where it is today is the same spot it was in March of 1973, but we couldn't see it because it was behind Saturn. Saturn was in Aries at that time, and it was kind of behind it, and the way the sun's angle was, they couldn't see it. And it wasn't till 1977 that they spotted Chiron. Now, Chiron is in between, it is the bridge between Saturn and Uranus. It is that bridge between the two. Now, and that is the bridge of the old to the new, or from the new to the old. So there's a bridge there, right? So in the 70s was really bringing in abrupt change, radicalism, the end of Vietnam War. Fernando, what is his last name? His son has now been, it's weird that his son, I think it's his son that has been elected in the Philippines, Marcos. And now it's his son that is now in, which is really weird to see that. There was the Cold War. Interesting, was happening during that time. So we have that energy of the Cold War, which is very similar to what's going on right now. Very similar to that Vietnam energy too, because people were upset. They didn't want the Vietnam War. They were upset with the guys that went off to war, and they didn't get a very well rounded applause for coming home. But this is the same with, when you're looking to what's going on right now. People are like, okay, why are we sending billions of dollars to a place when we need food? Our gas prices are going up. We're going to find, it was just on the news here, because my husband listens to the news. I just happened to walk in, that housing prices for rentals has gone up 38% in Calgary. 38%. That means, a family just trying to find a place, having a couple kids, and the rental is the amount of rentals is like 0.4% or 0.04% or something. So it's crazy low. Like there's hardly any rentals. Lots of sales. People are selling their stuff. People are getting rid of it. People are wanting to rid themselves of their home and that burden. They'd rather give the burden to somebody else. Doesn't mean that they can't afford it, but they want to get rid of the burden and give it to somebody else. So we have that energy that's happening as well. This is where with all of this sort of like craziness, in this turmoil, in this, and it's kind of like a tumbler drying, boom 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 boom. So we have this turmoil that's going on. It's to really look at the things that you need to change, what you need to change. I mean, throughout our lives there's been constant change. In the 80s was the highest rate of divorce rates, where people were stepping up, and marriages were ending during that time. 90s, it was devising new things, new energies were coming in, and that to where the 2000s came, and housing market dropped, everything started to go to where we are now. It is, we've gone through this progressiveness of dramatic, somewhat changes, but we want to go back to a melancholy, peaceful time. So we think. We think that ideal world over here, that's what we want to hang on to. We want to hang on to whatever that idealism is, because we are wanting to not face what we need to face. But in facing what we need to face, in facing that fear, in facing that abstract disorientation, whatever it is going to get you to somewhere better. That's the thing. If you're wanting to stay over here and you wanted to stay in the into hanging on to, this is what we need to do, this is where you're going to have to look at and really step forward into the chaos. And the thing is that when you step forward into it, you can begin to sort it. You can begin to say, okay, what do I need to do right now? What do I need to create right now? And it's, do not be fearful of life. Do not be fearful. Things need to change. This is your inner authority. This is your inner self. If there's a lot of chaos, take that time and step back. It's like, what is it that is making this chaotic? How can I make this peaceful transitioning? How can I not freak out? Or if I'm freaking out, it's like, okay, where can I take that time to breathe? Because there's a lot of freakouts going on right now. I have those freakouts. I'm going through my stuff here, and there's like, I'm pulling out shit, and I start crying. I get overwhelmed with it. Yeah, because I feel like there's a lot, but it's not. I'm not the only one. I'm not the only one, right? There's many of us that are going through this, and there's a lot of, there's a lot up in the air. And being up in the air, there's a lot of aspects that are still hitting the eclipse areas. And that means that there's still a lot that we are trying to clarify. We're trying to clarify and come together in some way. How can we clarify? How can we come together? How can we create something new? So this is this is an internal energy. And this is where we have to come into the moon energy. The moon energy is where we have to look at and say, okay, how can I be of service of myself? How can I take care of my health, my creativity, in order, because when I start doing that, what is that reflection I'm going to get? What is that energy I'm going to get? It's practice. It is practice. And when we are doing this, this is where we have to be paying attention to the facts and not sweating the small stuff. Because, it's not getting all upset with all of that energy. This is where we're looking into our work, our purpose, our identity, and looking into that. And many of us are changing our identity, changing our frequencies of renewal, of newness, of direction. What is that? What is that? And how does that feel? And this is where we have to bring in the sacredness for ourselves and the sacredness for those around us. And it is there's a lot of healing that's happening for many of us, but it's this progressiveness that of moving forward, of facing what we need to face in adversity. I know there is a lot right now, and my heart is going out and feeling that there's going to be many who are going to be without, many who are going to be struggling with what is transpiring. And I feel that's, for me, that's part of what I do, is to help and guide. And in amongst the rubble of our world, we are beginning to rebuild something. And it's going to take us some time to rebuild this. And it's blatant. This is okay. It's there's a lot of blatancy of darkness that is there, right? But the dark and the light, they work together. They can work very cohesively, and but there are these strings that are coming out of this darkness that is trying to wrap or control or to create disharmony. And my thing, one of the big things that that I've been learning or throughout is that listen to the ones that you don't even like, right? um Take a moment and listen to them. Like, even if you're, let's say there's a person and you're angry at them, take a moment and just to hear what they have to say. Doesn't mean that you agree with them, doesn't mean, but if you take a moment and try to breathe and take a step back and then ask yourself, why am I so aggravated with that person? They're trying to control. What are they trying to control? What am I trying to control? What am I trying to create? And I notice that within my own self. It's like I still get upset over certain things. When I see people doing these things, I'm just like, why, like, haven't you looked at the fact, why are people so fearful, why are people so afraid? And it's looking at that fear. Why, what is that fear in me? What is that's fearful in me? Um and looking and sort of feeling that. So one of the things is, are you angry that people are still wearing masks? Are you um angry, or does it upset you? Does it upset you in some way? Why does that upset you? That's just a small little thing. You could throw it out there and just sort of have a look at it and say, huh, no, I really don't care. Or yeah, it kind of does. Well, what is that restriction, or what does that reflect to you, kind of thing? And this is where this energy is really getting you to take a look at it. Take a look at, what those parts are, and allow yourself to take a moment and release them, and take a moment of releasing. There is, a lot of push and shove to have us form and into a certain way or be a certain way. And this is where you still have to stand up with your own unique individuality and an allowance of who you are. Yeah, baby. Things are going to look different and they're going to look odd. And I was thinking, because, in Chiron in Aries in the 70s was weird, weird things came out. Car designs would came out. um AMC Pacer, the Gremlin, all of these weird type of cars were being, you know out there. Look at the design. Look at people's hair back in the 70s and stuff. Hair was pretty crazy. And so take a look at that, of the clothes and stuff. Corduroy. Ugh, I hate corduroy. Corduroy was trendy, and the flowered shirts and the tape, the vests. For women were trying to have a sort of suit look and then be feminine at the same time, kind of thing. It just, the oddities that were around at that time. It was, so notice that there's some oddities that are around right now. Oh, and step into your uniqueness. I don't know why I'm yawning. I'm going to take a sip of my coffee, but I'm yawning. So this Sunday, I am going to be having a witchy garage sale. It is going to start at 1 o'clock on Sunday. It's not going to be a normal early morning one, because, not all witches are up early in the morning. They're usually up late at night. So it's going to be in the afternoon. And I'm going to have one on the 25th again too, which I believe is Sunday. So we'll see about that one. Probably be later on in the day as well. So having those two different garage sales, and we'll see how much sells from the first garage sale. If there's still a lot left, then I'm going to have to, either, have another garage sale or make the decision of releasing it somehow and maybe just giving it away here and there. But there's a lot. There's a lot of crafty things. There's toys. There's dinosaurs. There's books, kids' books, witchy books, other books. So there's all kinds of books. There's linens that, tablecloths and that are going to be going up. Different pieces of fabric that I have, and herbs, lots of herbs. Bags of herbs, bags of herbs are all going to be going up for sale. Crystals, um, beads, crystal beads and stuff like that. I've separated some of them already. And so we're going to have those. Those are going to be going up for sale. And if not, maybe I'm going to do an auction. But if the auction of stuff, not the auction of me, the auction of stuff would mean that I'd be going on live and showing things going up for auction, and then whatever the shipping cost is, the shipping cost would be that person's responsibility. So we have that's going to happen. I don't know about the auction as yet. That just sort of popped in my head. But yeah, it's embracing the change. Stressful as holy fuck, man. It's stressful. It's a lot. But it's the release, it's the releasing and the afterwards. Um and I mean, a lot of people have been asking about what I'm looking for in a place. So I really want to stay in the Southwest where I'm in the Glendale, Glenmore area. The reason being is because of my grandson and where he is, and we help out a lot with taking care of him. And he's been a part of my life since the day he was born, because I was there, you know. And so being by him is very, very important. The other thing is, if not, let's say something crazy happens and we can't live in this area or something, or we don't find a place by the end of June, with everything, I don't know. I just, different ideas are coming into my head of what to do. And right down to maybe it's maybe it's buying a trailer and living and putting a trailer up somewhere and just living in that and figuring it out from there, as long as we're close to a toilet. uh, so, but there's options out there, and I think that's where we're heading. It's just, where do you want to go? What do you want to do? And that's the next evolutionary step in our direction of what to do and where to go, and what more do we need to release in our life. So looking at that, as we step forward upon our journey, it's scary, it's new landscape, it's understanding that new landscape, it's understanding the diversity of it all, and not losing yourself in the craziness. Not losing yourself in the craziness. So don't lose yourself. So sending you guys out so much love. I'm still doing readings. I will be posting up. I know a few people have asked me about, you mentioned a sale. Yes. Trust me, I know I mentioned a sale. I'm trying to not put more things on my plate, because I want to have a sale, but I really think my sale will be more of when I am settled into a place where I can say, okay, I can book you for a reading. Trying to book people into a reading, I know I have an emergency one that I'm going to today, that to go see a lovely person who needs, yeah, it's an emergency one, sending her out so much love. And doing that is, things that pop up. I'm trying to not overload myself. That's the other thing, is because if I overload myself, then I get very frustrated and I get overwhelmed, and with the stress things. The other things, if you are feeling stressful, L-theanine is beautiful. It's a very helpful uh, natural amino acid. It does formulate in the brain, but you can get it through health food stores, and it's called L-theanine. And it helps to bring down. It helps if you're really over stressful. If you're already on really high doses of stress medication already, I don't know if they would react or how they would react together. I'm not sure. Um, so you'd have to contact your doctor, or a doctor who would actually know, because some psychologists and that don't know. EMP is another one that is really, really good, and it's by True Hope, and it works. It all has all the vitamins, minerals, and amino acids in there, but it also works on a chelation, on a process called chelation. So what chelation usually is when you go and get vitamin IV, I mean not ID, IV, and you get an IV, and it goes straight into the blood system. It's a chelation. So what this product does is that you could take it, but it actually breaks the barrier of your stomach, and it can go straight. Part of the vitamins and minerals can go straight into the bloodstream and go right to where it needs to go, which is the brain, and helps to bring in a calmness and a reformulating of the neurons to help you to refocus and relook at things in different ways. Um, EMP, I'm going to say, and they don't really say this, but I think it really helps the heart chakra, because when you're really stressful, your heart chakra is usually the one that is opened up quite a bit, like ooh, and it's really learning to sort of bring the energy in, to really bring that energy in so that you can ground, and so you're not so overwhelmed right now. Um, this is, and that will help you to be able to decipher the energies in your thoughts that are going on within you, and not to overanalyze things. This is a high stressful time, just saying. So the stress is high. So we got high stress, and people will be overstimulated with thoughts and feelings and changes within themselves. So really to be aware of that as well. So things like EMP, I don't get any money from any of this stuff, by the way. So it's just products that I know of and that I know have helped many, many people before. So do your own research with that. Um, the other thing too is having, making sure you're doing your vitamin D, your vitamins in vitamin D, fish oils, things to do with the brain. That's what I'm getting, the brain. So it's like your fourth and your first chakra are the two that are being stimulated at this time. So if your fourth and first chakra are being kind of muddled up, that means that your third eye might be a little bit dimmed and trying to get the clarification, and then comes into your third chakra, which is trying to get your voice, trying to get, I need to speak. I need to get out. I need, what is it that I need to say? But in order for things to process, because your heart chakra is your center of as above, so below, right? Comes in, gets things down, and then you have your your fifth, sixth, and seventh chakra, which is your solar plexus, sacral, and root chakra. So if your heart is really muddled, it's hard to be grounded. So this this is where we have to focus, is right here. And then we have to make sure that we're not overstimulating with too much outer stuff coming in, right? So that we're over processing. If this is making sense to you, please, give me a thumbs up and just say, yeah, that really makes sense. I understand what you're saying, mama. Because our heart chakra is already, out there picking up things before we're even in that place. Like, we're already feeling that energy before we even get to a certain place. Um, so it's very important to really monitor how you are being stimulated, right, with the energies around you. And so that you're not overstimulated or over frustrated or overwhelmed with too much happening. So honoring yourself in that process. So there you go. So sending you guys out so much love. Hoping that helps you, gives you a sort of an idea, clarity. Definitely, if you're wanting to book in I'm going to try and get people in as best as I can right now. I just, me too. I'm overstimulated. I'm overwhelmed with everything and just trying to process. I have to take my pictures down today and they will be going down. I have a few other things that are going to be, yeah, it's just making the changes, man, making the changes. So sending you guys out so much love. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Sending out the blessings and the healings to all that need the blessings and the healings today. May the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless you and send a golden light to surround you and guide you throughout your day and throughout your processing of what you need to do. Blessed be everybody, and see you soon. Bye-bye.